If you've been scrolling through endless rows of sewing machines, toggling between best for quilting and best for heavy-duty garments, and still feel stuck, this review is meant to cut through the noise. I've spent a good chunk of the past month actually setting up a few mid-range machines on a home workbench, reading what seasoned stitch enthusiasts are saying, and figuring out which model actually delivers on the promises they make. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the Juki DDL555ON. At first glance it looks like a serious piece of equipment, a lock-stitch machine that comes paired with a dedicated table, a setup you usually only see in small shop environments. That alone makes it stand out from the typical hobby-level machines that come in a compact, all-in-one package. The big question, though, is whether that industrial vibe translates into everyday value for someone who sews a few projects a week and occasionally runs a small custom order business. Who should consider the DDL555ON? If you're a hobbyist who's already outgrown a basic mechanical model, or a budding entrepreneur who needs to churn out consistent seams on denim, canvas, or multiple layers of fabric without constantly stopping to adjust tension, this machine fits the bill. Its reputation for steady stitching at higher speeds means you can finish a pair of pants or a tote bag noticeably faster than with a slower, consumer-grade unit. People who regularly work with thick knits, upholstery, or leather will appreciate the extra torque the motor provides, letting you glide through material that would make a regular home machine bog down. Who might want to skip it? If you only ever mend seams, do occasional pillow covers, or are looking for a portable, lightweight machine you can toss in a suitcase for travel, the DDL555ON feels a bit overkill. Its weight, especially with the built-in table, means you'll need a dedicated space, think a corner of a garage or a spare room. You won't be able to store it in a closet or carry it to a friend's house for a quick fix. Also, if you're on a tight budget and your projects stay within lightweight cotton or polyester, you might get more bang for your buck with a simpler, less powerful model. Now, onto the practical strengths that become clear once you have the machine humming. First, the integrated table isn't just a piece of metal, it adds a stable surface that keeps the fabric flat, reducing the tendency for puckering when you work with bulkier layers. I tried sewing a double-layer denim tote, and the table's generous dimensions meant I could feed the material without constantly readjusting the presser foot. The second strength is the machine's stitch consistency. Because Juki's industrial line uses a robust feed mechanism, the stitches stay even when you increase the speed. In a real-world test, stitching a 12-inch seam on a canvas bag at a brisk pace, the result was a clean line with no missed stitches, which is something you often have to chase down on cheaper machines. The third practical advantage is the thread handling. The DDL555ON includes a tension system that's forgiving enough for a range of thread types, from lightweight polyester to heavy-duty upholstery thread. I swapped from a fine silk thread for a dress hem to a thick nylon thread for a leather strap without needing to overhaul the settings. That flexibility saves time, especially when you're juggling different projects in one day. On the flip side, the machine does have a few hidden trade-offs. Because it's built for speed, the foot pedal is more sensitive than what you might be used to on a slower machine. If you're new to high-speed sewing, there's a learning curve to keep the foot pressure smooth, otherwise, you might end up with uneven stitch lengths. Also, the onboard electronics, while reliable, are a bit Spartan. There's no large LCD screen to scroll through a menu of stitch patterns. You get the essential stitches you need for garment construction and basic decorative work, but you won't find a library of specialty stitches built in. For a user who loves fiddling with stitch variations, that could feel limiting. Another practical consideration is the maintenance routine. Industrial-grade machines like this one are designed to last, but they also expect regular oiling and occasional needle changes. I found that after a few weeks of heavy use, the needle needed swapping more often than on my older domestic model, simply because the higher speed puts more stress on it. It's not a deal-breaker, but it does mean you'll keep a few spare needles and a bottle of sewing machine oil handy. What does the price point actually buy you? Beyond the machine itself, the table is a real value add. You avoid having to buy a separate work surface that can handle heavy fabrics. The overall rating of 4.6 out of 5 stars from nearly 400 reviewers suggests that people who've taken the plunge are generally satisfied, especially regarding durability and stitch quality. Those high marks often come from users who run small production runs, think a boutique that makes custom shirts or a